TWA 517, do you want to report a UFO? Over.
Negative. We don't want to report.
Look, it wasn't my worst Wednesday night.
Hello again. Welcome to another edition of Anomaly Now. I'm your host, Smiles Lewis. We are transmitting to you from Austin, Texas. This is the weekly news and media roundup show for the 501c3 nonprofit Scientific Anomaly Institute, aka the Anomaly Archives. All right, jumping right in, you know the drill. You can go to anomalyarchives.org. You're probably watching this on our YouTube channel. That's youtube.com/Anomaly Archives. We've got all kinds of social media under the Anomaly Archives name. You can find all that at the website, anomalyarchives.org. We also have a Patreon that you can go to over at patreon.com/Anomaly Archives. Imagine that. How strange, how bizarre, how anomalous. Not at all, of course. Yeah. And coming up, we have a big event coming up tomorrow night. Our good friend Brad Abrahams is going to be presenting Close Encounters of the Humankind, exploring the cinema of the unseen. Of course, Brad is an anomalous filmmaker who's delved into all kinds of areas from alien abduction, UFOs, close encounters, cults, conspiracy to cryptozoology, and all points in between. Hope you'll check that out. Again, you can go to patreon.com/Anomaly Archives and sign up for free. Or if you want to watch the lecture tomorrow, you need to sign up at the Anomaly Academy Cadet tier. That's $10 a month, $10 or more a month. But we have a gift this holiday season. Anybody who's paying will get access to tomorrow's show with Brad. Really looking forward to talking to him. He's doing great work as always, and really enjoy hearing his perspective and want to learn more about his creative process. All right, what else? I'm just racing along here. Okay, man. Whoa, I'm having deja vu. Yes, deja vu here over at KRQE. Yeah, was I in an alternate dimension where this already happened? Check it out.
We're learning more about a massive fire that broke out at the Roswell airport overnight. City officials say the flames are out, but the building is a complete loss. News 13's Gabe Chavez has details.
And so the Roswell Fire Department is getting more experience than we'd like to have on fires being of this size, but our guys do a great job.
A huge blaze breaking out on Roswell's south side, crews trying to contain the flames at the Roswell Air Center. You can see in video from last night just how large the flames were. The city says bystanders spotted the fire at around 8 last night, and firefighters from several agencies were dispatched to extinguish the blaze. Firefighters also received reports of small explosions.
There was multiple propane tanks going off upon first initial arrival. A bunch of miniature explosions were going off.
Firefighters got the fire under control at around 9:45, staying on scene overnight to put out hotspots. The city owns the building and leases it to AirSale, an airplane parts dealer. The facility and the contents inside are a total loss.
They've had multiple experiences of fires of this size or emergencies of this big, whether it comes down to rope rescues or hazmat calls or structure fires that are abnormal size. And so the Roswell Fire Department is getting more experience than we'd like to have on fires being of this size, but our guys do a great job. I couldn't be more proud of them.
City officials say no one was hurt.
Right. So flashback to last year, April 2024, agencies investigate massive fire south of Roswell. This again was at the Roswell Airfield, Roswell Air Center, causing some facilities to evacuate and lose power. I'm seriously though, my initial attempts when I saw this was like, this has already happened. I'm having deja vu. I couldn't find any links, but eventually, I found the other links. Yes, here's another one, isssource.com, aviation facility fire forces evac, dated May 2024. And then also over at the Roswell Daily Record. That's RDR News, Roswell Daily Record News.com, from their 2024 recap Air Center fire, originally posted posted in December of last year as a retrospective. So yes, not deja vu, but goodness gracious. Okay. And I don't want to do I told you so, but I mean, figure it out. UFO becomes UAP, becomes UAS, becomes drone. Here is Matt Laszlo with his Ask a Poll UAP. That's askapol, POLUAPS.com.
Welcome back to Ask a Poll UAPs, interactive political reporting from your U.S. Capitol. Host and founder Matt Laszlo here. Keep sending us your questions, and we'll keep pressing Congress for you. Now, here's Ask a Poll UAP's latest exclusive from Washington. Whole NDAA this year, there's UAS. So unmanned aerial systems.
Yeah, we did a ton on drones.
And there's drones. Well, but last year it was UAP working kind of at the same problem. Like, has this Congress just moved past the term UAP and just now calling it drones and UAS?
No. The purpose is we've had a bunch of drone incursions on sensitive sites, such as military bases and nuclear sites. And so we need a specific provision that Tom Cotton and I wrote to give the DoD the authority to take them down.
Is that in there?
Should be in there, yeah. It was agreed to. I haven't seen the language yet, but the House agreed to our provisions.
Classified section?
Part will be unclassified and part will be classified.
Because in the unclassified section, there's no mention of UAP.
But it'll be under UAS.
Yeah.
So I don't think I didn't work on any UAP provisions for this NDAA outside of fully funding Aero.
Yeah.
So hopefully Aero is fully funded.
Well, you worked on UAS provisions.
Yes.
That were
specific. Yes.
But last year they would have been called UAP.
No, they wouldn't have, because UAS is just, we know they're drones. They're not unidentified. So they're unmanned aerial systems.
But the Langley incursion, Warner and Kane, 2 years out.
They have called it a UAP?
Well, no. The Pentagon says they have no idea what they were. They shut down Langley for 17 days.
We could have called them UAP or we could have called them UAS.
Yeah.
I think Cotton probably just wanted to call them UAS.
Yeah.
It was probably a Cotton preference, but yep. But it's the same thing.
Yeah. Appreciate you, man. Thanks for tuning in to Ask a Poll.
And I highly recommend Matt Laszlo's Ask a Poll. He's there on the ground asking these legislators about this issue. And yeah, as you can see and hear there, it's a slippery slope situation. Yeah, I don't know. Obviously some people are thinking you've got to couch everything in terms of threat to get these legislators to even acknowledge the quote unquote UFO UAP subject. But some people feel very uncomfortable with this. Meanwhile, you may have heard of some interesting developments with regard to the next big disclosure thing. In this case, good old Steven Spielberg's latest UFO film. The teaser is out, and here it is, folks.
If you found out we weren't alone, if someone showed you, proved it to you, would that frighten you?
Good morning, Kansas City. Let's take a look at today. Today is today's.
People have a right to know the truth. It belongs to 7 billion people.
What is it?
You wouldn't believe me if I told you. So I'm gonna show you.
What are you gonna do?
Full disclosure to the whole world. All at once.
People keep wondering. Encountering the unknown.
They're coming! They're coming!
They are starved for the truth.
Do you think there could be others?
Why would he make such a vast universe? save it only for us?
Yes. Okay. What do you think? Um, you know, I don't know. I got some goosebumps watching this. Like the third or fourth time I've watched that. Um, I did think it's the sound design and the weird clicking sounds, and of course the ominous droning sounds that are so popular in science fiction and thriller and horror movies these days. But yeah, so this is on the heels of these big billboards going up all around the country. This one, I forget if this is Times Square or this maybe is in LA, where it says all will be disclosed. Spielberg, 6/12/26. That's my birthday, folks. I'll be 56 years old on June 12th, 2026. Yes, I do share that birth date with some good people and some not so good people, but that's the nature of birthdays, right? Anyway, I'm excited, but that's a long time to wait. And it seems like we've been waiting for at least a year. Like they've been keeping this all under wraps. Anyway, be curious to hear what you think. Comment below or send an email to contact@anomalyarchives.org, or you know how to reach me if you're a close friend. Yeah, anyway, yes, signs of, nobody says aliens or extraterrestrials. There's no UFOs seen in the video. Sorry, spoilers, maybe. And of course, this billboard is like an upside down eye inside the reverse silhouette of a bird that some think may be a cardinal, like you see in the trailer, though it looks more like the shape of a blue jay or some other kind of jay. I've heard others speculating that the white speck in the colored part of the eye is the Tic Tac. Groan. I'm just glad I didn't hear the letters UAP in the trailer. But I think Spielberg, though he is incredibly emotionally manipulative in his storytelling, is still a pretty powerful storyteller. And while I doubt that he has any hotline to insiders, I do suspect he's heard more crazy stories than we have. And of course, his legendary connection to J. Allen Hynek and Jacques Vallée for the production of Close Encounters. Some folks have been speculating this is perhaps a sequel to that. I think this is just something new and different that he's doing, and that the title is called Disclosure Day is interesting. And the idea of, yes, global disclosure to everybody at the same time seems pretty dramatic. But what it's implying to me with the shots of a crop circle forming and the really, to my eye, very bad CGI animals, the computer generated imagery of these animals just is so bad that bothers me. I have yet to see really well done CGI animal effects, but yeah, this all just there's the implication of hybrids, changelings, shapeshifters, perhaps channeling, speaking through tongues. Oh, I didn't queue up the clip. Oh, I don't know if I can do this right now. Let me see if I can bring up. So Red Panda Koala put together a video of this it's the same thing, but it's pretty interesting. Let's see if I can. Well, I thought it was. Well, anyway, never mind. So jumping back to the image you're seeing there on your screen, that is from this article over at World of Reel, REEL.com. World of Reel, your place for alternative movie news. Spielberg poster teases mysterious new UFO movie. All will be disclosed. This was by Jordan Ruemi, December 10th, 2025. Spielberg's UFO movie, still untitled, will have its first trailer attached to Avatar Fire and Ash showings. However, the first billboards in LA and in New York City are starting to appear, and as you can see from the snapshot below, the filmmaker might be going for a darker tone than, say, E.T. or even Close Encounters of the Third Kind. The caption, all will be disclosed, 6/12/26, appears on the teaser, and it raises the question of whether the long-rumored title Disclosure is indeed what the film will be called. Footage of Spielberg's film was recently unveiled during a special event at Universal Pictures when they dedicated a new Spielberg theater. According to reports, the preview showed action sequences, including chase scenes, mysterious Men in Black style cars, and a dramatic car train chase escape involving Emily Blunt's character. There's real mystery surrounding this new Spielberg, and writer David Koepp, Koepp, Jurassic Park, recently hinted that it would return to the old school roots of Spielberg's earlier UFO-centered works. The cast includes Blunt, Josh O'Connor, Colin Firth, Eve Hewson, Coleman Domingo, and Wyatt Russell, and naturally Spielberg regular Janusz Kaminsky is the DP. The UFO film is set to release on June 12th, 2026. And over at Daily Grail, we have Red Pill Junkie. Oh, no, this is by somebody else, by Rick. Okay. Cryptic billboard posters appear for Spielberg's disclosure. This is over at dailygrail.com. And yes, they're commenting on the profile of the bird silhouette being like either a blue jay or a cardinal. Of course, there is a cardinal viewable in the in the trailer that we just played. Now, this Daily Grail article says Red Pill Junkie suggests the bird silhouette could be alluding to the Aviary, a clandestine group created in 1980 by Colonel John Alexander. It's allegedly comprised of intelligence agents, military scientists, aeronautical engineers with the goal of controlling the UFO narrative. Like a page out of Alan Moore's The Watchmen, each member of the Aviary is given a bird as a code name, yada, yada, yada. Yeah, could be interesting. Oh, that's so there also is this recent interview between Steve Colbert and Steven Spielberg. I believe I saw a clip from this on somebody else's video. And it actually looked like it was a pretty interesting interview, at least the clip, the portion they decided to show. So that's over there at the Daily Grail link as well. So we shall see. Another interesting article that I haven't had the chance to read yet, but is over at theobservermagazine.substack.com, or I think also theobservermagazine.com will redirect you to their Spielberg Suspicions by the Observer staff. Curious to see what they're talking about. Oh, hey, I see Jenny Randles mentioned this paragraph. I'm not sure what the relevance is, but it says prominent ufologist Jenny Randles argued that the dip was a result of society's waning fascination with unidentified flying objects after seeing them on the big screen. This is the old saw about, do UFO, alien, science fiction movies increase the number of UFO reports or decrease the number of reports? In other words, what is the nature of the interface there? And I would say we are in a cybernetic feedback loop as far as our culture and the media. It just makes sense to my mind, at least. Okay, well, was there something else I was going to play? Perhaps, maybe not. Oh yeah, check out this trailer here for something completely different from a couple of years ago. I still haven't seen this, but it should be interesting.
Y yo dije, esto se va a saber algún día y nosotros lo vamos a contar y nadie nos va a creer.
Los ovnis, los platillos voladores, los extraterrestres.
Significativa ayuda del Supremo Gobierno.
Estamos viendo como un objeto brillante en el cielo, pero si usted sale y lo mira por la ventana lo va a ver.
Mira hacia arriba, mira hacia arriba. Me fui dando cuenta que todo el mundo, todos miraban hacia arriba.
Que no se acerque. Ay, Dios mío, cara, que estoy gritando entera. Tienes una noticia, Apolo. Revisa el apocalipsis.
Así nos hizo a nosotros, porque imagínate que nos estén diciendo más o menos que se va a caer el mundo.
Cuando ellos llamaban, era una música así, esa, tan, 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 tan. ¿Por qué quieres hablar conmigo? ¿Por qué yo?
¿Por qué no contar con un banco de órganos ilegal?
La única manera de saber realmente lo que pasaba era ir. ¿Qué saben ustedes de esos gringos, oye?
El rol de Ernesto de la Fuente en la historia de Friendship, yo diría que es el centro, el personaje principal.
Y me dio, le dije, pero doctor, ¿qué tengo? Cáncer, hombre, no está viendo, mire.
Está justamente en el límite de lo real y de la imaginación.
En los años 80 estableció contacto con Friendship. Incluso, dice, visitó su isla. Él accedió a conversar con nosotros.
¿Cómo le curaron la enfermedad? Es darme salud a la...
All right, so yeah, from 2023, Isla Alien. This is a documentary I have not seen. I was not even aware of, but thankfully, Micah Hanks on his podcast was talking about it recently and brought it to my attention. I'll have to dig out the links, but it's a very strange case. And yeah, I know that was all in Spanish. There's subtitles for the trailer. You can go and watch it. Sorry for no English translation there, but hey, you gotta Got to do the work. Anyway, highly recommend looking into the friendship case. It is a very strange case. It may have some connections to the weird, creepy Colonia Dignidad Nazi compound in South America. Yeah. So over at dailygrail.com, Red Pill Junkie on December 10th wrote, Friends in Strange Places, Isla Alien documentary review. And let's see, one of the things he says, the question has remained with me ever since, and it was rekindled with every close encounter I report got in my hands. Around the late 90s and the early 2000s, I became acquainted with a very interesting story that made me wonder whether a flying saucer was even necessary to go and live with the aliens. Perhaps, as the story suggested, the aliens are already settled and living among us, hiding in some remote location of the planet, waiting for the right time to make their presence known to the world. But in the meantime, they might invite special individuals to join and collaborate with them in their goal to bring about a new era of enlightenment to humanity, the same way Neri and several others were invited in Spielberg's movie. The story I'm referring to is the controversial Friendship Island urban myth, which is the subject of a 2023 Chilean documentary, Isla Alien, Alien Island, directed by Cristobal Valenzuela Barrios. Spoilers ahead. I've written over the years that despite my lifelong interest in UFOs, I'm not really that fond of ufological documentaries per se. In fact, I can probably count with one hand the ones that have had a positive impact on me. You can find reviews of them on our page, like this one and this one. I think I can confidently say Isla Alien has been added to that list because not only does it touch upon one of my favorite UFO topics, which I've always wanted my Anglo friends to be more acquainted with, but it does so in a very creative and artistic way, using tropes from old low-budget B movies that reminds you of Ed Wood's Plan 9 from Outer Space. Woohoo! The film was shot entirely on black and white, and even employing the gimmicks of Derek Waters' Drunk History series on Comedy Central as they reenact some of the testimonies from the witnesses when speaking in third person. As a longtime connoisseur of the Friendship Island mythos, I give the filmmakers an A+ in their efforts to bring together the main characters of this crazy story, from the people residing in Chile's capital, Santiago, in the middle 1980s, started receiving alleged strange messages through their ham radio. This is what people used before the internet, kids. From an undisclosed location somewhere near Patagonia, said to be inhabited by mysterious people referring to themselves as Friendship, who used angelic names like Ariel or Miguel, to Ernesto de la Fuente, the man at the crux of this mythology, who was considered to be the conduit or messenger between the outside world and the friendship community, a quasi-religious congregation of foreigners, quote unquote, which was seemingly equipped with highly sophisticated technology, as demonstrated once with a highly publicized sighting of a UFO over Santiago in August of 1985, which they claimed was under their control while they were speaking to the CV contacts. So advanced and magical that they not only were able to cure terminal diseases like cancer, but they were even able to predict future events. Yeah. Anyway, got to dig up the links to that Micah Hanks episode or two that he's done about that and check it out. Anyway, meanwhile, there's a ton of other news I'm not going to get to that I really will put in the show notes. There's at least half a dozen or more cryptozoology headlines of note, including the passing of Stephen Strufert, Bigfoot Books owner, who died at the age of 60. Articles about famous Nessie hunter claims he has best ever close-up of Loch Ness Monster, to another article over at the LochNessMystery.blogspot site locating Margaret Monroe's monster. That's a famous account of someone encountering the Loch Ness Monster and the researchers trying to locate exactly where that occurred. A great video by my good friend Chester Moore Jr., Chupacabra Coyote Connection, the mystery of the blue dogs. Now, yeah, that's too much to go into, but suffice to say, Chester is an outdoor writer, and I was introduced to him through the cryptozoology scene, the big Texas Bigfoot scene, the East Texas Bigfoot scene. And this is an excellent overview of what's been happening here in Texas with the quote-unquote blue dogs and all the different creatures that are being described as chupacabras, which are not, folks. These are just, spoiler alert, animals with mange, largely coyotes with mange, dogs with mange, raccoons with mange. But there's some great information in this very concise video by Chester Moore Jr., so highly recommend that. Also, this video, first evidence of wolves using tools in the wild. This is a wild idea, and there's video to go with it. But some researchers who were trying to do some investigative science in something completely unrelated to wolves seem to have discovered that some wolves are, quote unquote, using tools that's thwarting their investigations. It's very interesting. Again, a very short video worth your time, and highly recommend you check it out. In our consciousness, mind, body, psi, parapsychology connections, we've covered things like the telepathy tapes over the last year or so. Well, apparently there was a conference put on here in Austin. I had no idea about this, put on by the Children's Health Defense. And there's a panel discussion by some of these quote unquote spellers, some of these autistic individuals who are considered nonverbal, non-speaking, and they are called spellers because they use these various letter boards to communicate, allegedly. And I say allegedly because, of course, it's very controversial because they're using facilitators, people who are acting as an interface for them. And that's where the trouble starts. But the trouble doesn't just end there, because apparently the Children's Health Defense is an organization that is described as being long, hardcore anti-vaccine, and likely has been putting forth the idea that some give merit to, that there are additives, adjuncts, whatever you call them, being put into the vaccines that are damaging humanity and the children. I'm not making any judgment on that, but the reason this came across my feed was because this particular panel with these spellers was being moderated by Charles Eisenstein, who I've been interested in before, liked his perspective on certain things, even though he's also made some political choices that I find questionable. But he's pretty articulate in his communication style, and haven't watched the panel discussion, but again, it's a little problematic, to say the least. But the fact that this happened here in Austin and I didn't even know about it was news to me. There is also this amazing video. Neuroscience just did the impossible. Highly recommend it. I'm not familiar with the YouTuber. I believe his name's Chase something or other. He also may be a problematic messenger, but the scientific research that he's talking about has to do with the effects of psilocybin being able to rewire synapses in the brain, and how scientists have recently used a de-weaponized version of the rabies virus and discover and use psilocybin to rewire people's brains. Fascinating, amazing, Rubicon crossing, dangerous, scary, maybe. There's also some chances to be research subjects yourself. ION's research has some participation opportunities coming up, as well as participate as a research subject, Division of Perceptual Studies over at virginia.edu. Here, University of Virginia researchers identify support gaps for people recovering from near-death experiences. And lastly, these two articles and or videos. I'm a marine biologist. This is how I talk to whales. This person's using AI to try to communicate with whales. And then this other one, North Atlantic warning, orcas now targeting commercial vessels in what experts call coordinated assaults. Wow. Yeah. This is over at royalblueheating.co.uk. I am not sure what the nature of that website, and I wonder if that's an AI image there. Gosh. But this article is allegedly by someone named Hazel Montgomery, and documents the seeming increase in these coordinated attacks by killer whales, orcas, against shipping and boats and what have you. But well, that's going to be it, folks. Again, you can go to anomalyarchive.org. You can go to patreon.com/anomalyarchives and find out more about the Anomaly Archives nonprofit over there. And we'd love for you to sign up for the Patreon, like, subscribe, hit the notification bell, all those good things. Thank you. And hopefully we'll see you tomorrow night in Brad Abraham's wonderful lecture, Close Encounters of the Humankind. And I guess that's going to be it. Good night.